holiday.
Yes, right. Long time no see.
Yes. Well, how was your holiday?
Oh, my holiday was actually during holiday in Korea. The weather was really cold, so
Oh.
most people just stay at home and then same as
Mm.
well. And
Mm.
I just drove by steakhouse on the
Ah.
Christmas with my family, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
only special event for me during the holiday.
I see. Did it snow?
Snow. Actually, the on the Christmas Eve there is
Mm-hmm.
a little bit snow, so we call
Ah.
that white Christmas, but very
Mm-mm.
little snow,
I see. So it's not really heavy.
right? But
Yes.
actually, eastern part of Korea there was heavy snow.
Oh,
Actually,
wow.
some area, some city, there was 30 centimeters snow.
Wow.
So yeah, I think the people at the town feel very happy during the holiday.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes. I heard if it is snowing, it's not too cold.
No, no, it not depends on the uh even though but coldest weather we can there will be snow.
I see. I know. I mean, I heard that
Yeah,
if it is snowing, the
yeah.
temperature is not too cold. Not as cold as when it's not snowing.
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe it's the maybe it's the feeling of snow
Mhm.
that makes the people on the snowing days they feel
Mhm.
not very cold because
I see.
yes, when you see the white
Pate?
blanket,
Ah.
white
Mhm.
blanket all the town,
Uh-huh.
it's covered with
Mm.
a white
Wow.
blanket, so it
Mhm.
it looks like very warm,
Mhm. Mhm. Anything else
but
to share? Uh, like that anymore. Not clear that.
so yeah, there will be there was another network problem, I think.
Oh, I see. Right. Now it's good.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So let's go to the topic today.
Mhm.
I'd like to discuss the number 1948.
1948.
Yeah, is China.
1948.
Yeah.
Yes. Is China burdening
Yes, right.
Africa with that?
Yeah.
Okay, please read.
Is China burdening Africa with debt? Africa is facing a debt crisis, say leading development economies. Almost
Mhm.
40% of sub-Saharan African countries are slipping into a major debt crisis, according to the Overseas Development Institute. And the relationship between African nations and China is a part of the problem. Its critics say that major infrastructure projects carried out by Chinese companies in Africa are too expensive and burden the host countries with enormous debts they can hope to repay. The Chinese government is adamant that its economic relationships with African countries are mutually beneficial and rejects suggestions
Mhm.
that it use steps to expand global influence. So is China responsible for Africa's growing debt burden? The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has recently warned that Africa is heading towards a new debt crisis, with many countries at high risk of doubling over the past 5 years. The World Bank now classifies 18 countries as high risk of debt distress. The total amount of external debt for the continent is estimated at $417 billion. Around 20% of the African government's external debt is owed to China, says the Jubilee Debt Campaign, a charity that campaigns to cancel poor countries' debt. This
Mhm.
makes China the largest single creditor nation, with combined state and commercial loans estimated to have been $132 billion between 2006 and 2017. A further 35% of African debt is held by multilateral institutions such as the World Bank, with 32% owed to private lenders.
Mhm.
There's one important caveat. This
Mhm.
data is hard to verify. China is not a member of the OECD, Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and
Mhm.
they do not participate in the OECD's credit reporting system, said Christina Wolf,
Mhm.
an economic expert in Kingston University. But China has pledges to invest $60 billion in Africa by the end of this year. Most of China's loans to Africa go to infrastructure projects such as roads, railways, and ports. In
Mhm.
2015, the China Africa Research Institute (CARI) at Johns Hopkins University identified 17 African countries with risky debt exposure to China, potentially unable to repay their loans. That's all.
Mhm. Any questions about the vocabulary?
Everything is okay with the vocabulary.
Let's move on then. What country is the largest single creditor nation?
China is the largest single creditor nation.
Yes. And what countries are at high risk of a debt crisis?
Mm, the, the crisis, almost 40% of sub-Sahara African countries are slipping into a major debt crisis.
Yes, okay. And how are the loans being used?
They're being used for infrastructure in Africa.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what are the advantages and disadvantages of getting loans?
Getting loans for the advantage, you can use the money to invest or you can use the money for something you in need. So especially
Mm-hmm.
these days, lots of people use the loaned money to invest stock, coin, or real estate market.
Mm-hmm.
And disadvantage of getting loans, you have to pay. You have to pay um, yield. So if you don't have enough um, money or um, margin from your investment, then you
Mm-hmm.
could get in the trouble. You could in debt.
Mm-hmm. Where can people borrow money in Korea?
Usually, we borrow from bank or
Mm.
other private. And if you don't have yeah credit, then you can borrow the money from the underground bank market or
Underground.
um, private loaners.
Ah, I see. Okay, so there are also private, yes,
Yeah.
loaners. Right. Oh, but then is that legal?
Some cases it's illegal, but some cases it's not legal.
Oh,
Actually,
I
government
see.
for legal loan rate is maximum is 29% a year. But
Mm-hmm.
if you use the illegal loan get money, then you have to pay the double the money than
Wow.
you loan.
I see. The interest is too high.
Right.
Yes, right. And how do we incur that?
Mm. So lose your if you lose your job or if you fail to your investment, you can then take incur debt.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you incur that if
Your
you lose. Mm-hmm.
if you lose your job or if you fail your job or your
Mm-hmm.
investment.
Investment or business,
Yeah.
like that, right? You're very correct. And I heard these days it's very common for people who would like to buy houses to loan money, isn't
Oh
it?
yes, right. Actually, in the past, when I was much younger, usually people say you shouldn't borrow the money from bank when you buy your house. So
Mm-hmm.
you just save the money until you get money enough to buy your own house.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, trend has changed. So
Mm-hmm.
many people and many economists, specialists, or experts recommend to use the loaned money as a leverage because
Mm-hmm.
these days house price is increasing
Yes.
very quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's much the speed is much faster than your saving.
Ah, that's
So right,
why.
just like yeah, recently 3 to 4 years, every year's every year's housing price, apartment price in Seoul, especially in Seoul, increase almost $100,000 per year.
Wow.
So you couldn't
Mm.
save the money, even though you are
Mm-hmm.
a talented man, or if you even though you get a decent job, you can save that
Right.
kind of money a year. So in that
Mm.
case, if you loan the money half of the price from the bank. That's the
Mm-mm.
maximum percentage that government allow you. Then
Mm.
you could have buy the you could have bought the apartment
Mm-mm.
several years ago.
I see. But how much is the interest rate?
At the moment, if you want to buy an apartment, interest
Mm-hmm.
rate is around 3 to 4%.
3 to 4%.
Yeah,
I see. A year. A year, a
a
month.
year, a
Oh,
year.
okay. A
So
year.
so yeah, I think that's very reasonable that
Yes.
rate. So you could
Mm-mm.
buy your own house. So
Mm-mm.
yeah, even though if you borrow the money $200,000 from the bank,
Mm-mm.
then you only pay $600 or $700 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Yes.
yeah, you could afford that, and then the also you can enjoy the apartment price increase.
Correct. Yeah, especially in Korea.
Yes, right.
Yes. And when does that become a problem?
Um, then when you cannot afford to pay the interest rate, then you
Yes.
could be in trouble. And then if you cannot pay for the interest rate to your bank for your house house, then
Mm-hmm.
the bank will announce the that bankrupt, and then make your house in the auction.
Oh, yes. Of
Yeah,
course,
that's
they
the
will.
worst case of that.
Oh, I see. Oh, so yeah, of course, that has those kinds of consequences. But if you're a good payer, then there's no
Yeah,
problem.
of
Yes,
course.
about
Yes,
it.
right.
Okay. Well, then, any questions so far?
So yeah, oh, I wonder, network problem in your city or your house? Is there any problem?
No, I didn't
No.
have any problem today.
Yeah,
All my
I just
classes
wonder
were
what.
good.
Yeah, only. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
While yeah, but it's okay. Yeah, hope to see
Yes.
you on Thursday again.
All right. If it is my problem, maybe your video will stop too, but your video is
Ah,
moving, just the voice
ah, okay.
is a problem.
Maybe
Yes.
yeah, my problem.
Yes. Okay. Well, then see
Okay,
you then.
okay. Bye bye.
Bye.